What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings are? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the two-gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming! Alright, so welcome to Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. And I'm here to tell you about a game that I'm really excited about. That's what I love doing on this series. And this game, I played about 4 times right in the last 2 weeks. And that's only because I haven't had the chance to play it more. It's not like I've been cheating on with other games. No, that's just the way the times worked out. But this game is heating up, and I just wanted to tell everyone about this. And by the way, the shirt is appropriate to the game Western Legends. Why, John? That's Star Trek. Yes, it is. But DeForest Kelley, who played Bones on Star Trek, before that, actually had a pretty well-known name for making dusters. Yeah, he did a lot of Western films. A lot of times he played the heavy. No, at least one time, a movie about the OK Corral, he played Morgan Earp, so it wasn't always necessarily a heavy, but I remember that movie. Yeah, they must have portrayed the Earps as good, yes. Did they? Did you see that movie? Let me know. Put it down in the comments. Anyway, so this is appropriate to Western Legends. Now let's get down to the table, because I gotta tell you about this. So here we are, and man, I really don't have a lot on my mind, game-wise, except one thing lately. For the last couple of weeks, all I can think about is Western Legend by Kolossal Games. Me and Anthony dropped a 20-sided shots on this last week after the two of us and Tommy V got a chance to get it to the table for the first time and play it. Spoiler for that video if you didn't see it. Wow! Whoa! I got a chance to play it again a couple of times this weekend with Rob. He was by, and second verse, same as the first. It was amazing, and it was great also as a teaching game. I found out because it really did drive forward so much to me how easy this game is to teach. So for Tabletop Takeout Tuesday, I am definitely talking about, for this week, Western Legends. Yeah. So remember, Tabletop Takeout Tuesday is, it's less of a review and more of just me telling my friends about a game I think is great. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. And I've been excited about every game I've told you about since literally game 1. And I am no less excited now than I was when I started. You've watched some of these shows before, or if you watched the 20-sided shots, you know that I love sandbox games. I find them highly enjoyable. I find them very replayable. They hit all the marks for me. And if it has a great theme on top of that, it's easily in my favorite game lists, definitely. There's a few games that are in there. And I've talked about some of them so far, and there'll be a few more coming up. But as of right now, I gotta tell you, this game is definitely in my top 5. Definitely in my top 5. John, what is your top 5? You know what? I'll be getting around to that end of the year / beginning of the new year. But it's definitely at this moment right now, at least in my top 5. And that's just after like 4 games. Because every single game delivered, it kept delivering. And that's what I said with Anthony, the one word, and it's still viable, I think, deliver. Anyway, let me tell you about the game, because you've already heard the 20-sided shots, and if you didn't watch that, I'll tell you something about it. And if you did watch that already, I'm going to be getting a little bit more in-depth and a little bit more focused. I mean, me and Tony kind of went all over the place. It was like every good thing about the game we wanted to talk about, so we're just reaching out, grabbing it, and throwing it right back out at you, you know? So I'm going to try to bring it back down, keep it a little more focused, a little more well-timed. So Western Legends is exactly that. You're getting to play real-life historical Western legends. And they have their own independent story cards, which mimic somewhat their own story without getting very deep, but it gives you qualities to add to their story that they did in real life. There's also generic story cards in the game. There's always 2 out at a time, and by accomplishing these, you and or the other players that helped accomplish this as well, you will get benefits. And the entire game is about victory points. Here they're called legendary points. And depending on a short game, medium, or long game, you could be starting with as few as 15 to get to win, as much as 25 or more if you want a really epic game, though it's not listed there, but count does go up to 30. So you could do a really epic game, which is what I want to do with a 6-player, which is going to make it an all-day game. Oh, it definitely will. 6-player game, trying to get these guys and gals to 30. I predict a 4 or 5 hour game here. Should we live stream it? Should we? I'm not saying when we're going to do it. I don't know, but would you all want to see something live stream that long? Let me know in the comments, because it may be worth it. So you have the story cards, which allow you to accomplish general things to gain legendary points. However, during the course of the game, every day actions, that's what it is in a sense, since it is sandbox, open world style, at least open world to the world that it's giving you. You know, obviously you can't go off the board, so it's not a true open world like some video games are. As far as board games go, it has just about anything you want to do, boom, is in the game. You have a place to do it, to earn money doing this, and then go buy cool stuff. And then some of this cool stuff you can upgrade. Give upgrades to it that make them legendary themselves, that they themselves are going down in the folklore and the tales and the history books and the penny novels and the pulp stories all about you. And during the course of the game, while you're doing things like having gunfights with other players maybe, as well as bandits in the game, or the game's sheriff, you can play cards that will add legendary points to you. Even if you lose, you could still get legendary points. And that's not because you're not getting legendary points because you win, because you go in and you win every game that you play in the gambling hall, or every gunfight that you go into, or every time you try to get a bad guy, pull a bandit into the sheriff's office. No, sometimes you're going to lose, but that doesn't mean that the story behind you losing wasn't legendary. That's why you're gathering up legendary points, not just for necessarily winning everything, but being involved in the legendary moments in the Old West. Whether they mirror real events or just made up for the game, they're still legendary. And that's what the game is tracking. Now, you get these legendary points like any good sandbox game by having multiple paths to you. Whether you want to be a rancher, whether you want to steal the cattle, whether you want to go after bandits, whether you want to be a bandit, you want to rob the bank, you want to rob other players who just went prospecting and got some gold, you want to rob it from them. Maybe you want to go make some money and some legendary status at the gambling hall or at the cabaret, reveling all night and spending tons of money. You can do all these things, and they're going to get you legendary points. And the combination of the ones that you do and how fast you can do ones and accumulate the legendary points, that's going to help you win the game. Now, if you're using the story cards, the individual story cards for each of the legendary characters, you don't know how many legendary points you're getting until the end of the game. Then you get to flip the tokens over that you got. So that adds in a real mystery, because players that will count the points sitting at the table and will know, all right, next turn it's over, and Jason came in first, Elizabeth came in second, Rajesh came in third, and I'm the big loser. You don't have to worry about that because you're not going to know what the final points are. It's still going to be a mystery until that final flip and that final count. You're going to be sitting there at the edge of your seat. And there's a great mix of characters to play, too. From Bass Reeves Stagecoach Mary. You got more well-known ones, at least to me, like Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, Jesse James, Billy the Kid. The expansion packs have like Calamity Jane, Butch Cassidy, Pinkerton. Great characters that you get to play and do whatever you want with them. If you want to relive their stories, or at least as much as you know or believe you know about it, go for it. Do it. If you want to sit there and say that Doc Holliday is going to be a gold miner for the rest of his life, then you get to do that too. You know, fight off some people that come to rob you, kill them, maybe get a wanted status, you got to fight off the sheriff. So it always ends up being more than the one thing. But you get to do it. You get to make those choices. You get to let these characters, YB Rowdy is in the game, Native American. You get to do what you want with them, and that is exciting. I want to play this game. I want to use every character. I want to go through the expansions. I want more expansions for this game, and it's just never going to be enough, I think, for right now. It uses a great system. This is another good thing that I think that you want to going into the game, and also you can love about the game is it uses the cards for everything. It has a playing deck of cards, but they each have their own ability. Some of them can be used as an action. Some of them can be used as a reaction. Some of them function as both. And then there's others that are bonuses. So if you're using them in combat, you're still going to get a bonus, win or lose, because of this card. And maybe the card's going to help you in combat. Maybe it's going to lower their card because it's high card wins. High card wins. It's very simple. And this deck works the game marvelously. It was literally built to do this, and it was built perfectly. It's a great game. If you haven't heard of Western Legends yet, go watch other videos on it. Watch our 20-sided shots from last week. Watch other people's videos about this. Watch playthroughs. If you like the Old West, if you like board games, if you like video games as well, because it gives you the openness of a video game, this is a great game to throw down on the table. Why don't you do it? If you like any of these things, just trust me on this. Do it. If it's at a game cafe that you see, take it off the shelf and play it. It deserves to be played. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. So I could go on forever. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for checking us out. For Facebook, for Twitter, for Instagram. Thank you so much for subscribing to us here, for liking and for sharing our videos. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G. The Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. And I am out of here.